Hello, this is Jared Nelson here, Editor-in-Chief of Prep Network, and today I am going to walk you through the posting process for Prep Network's sites. Thanks for making it this far, and in this video we're going to teach you how to get your content on the site. So I've got prephoops.com pulled up here. I'm signed in. Same look here, Prep Dig, Prep Girls Hoops, Prep Redzone, all kind of the same layout, same brand. I'm just going to go through it on Prep Hoops. All the posting process is the same. So, first you'll want to make sure you are signed in. If you have any questions on getting signed in, definitely let me know, and we can make sure we get your password set and everything like that. So, in order to post a new article, you just hover over this new tab here and click on post, and that will bring you to the back end page here where you add a new post. So this section here is important in the dashboard. Now you can also go find all your old posts. You can really find anything as at the all post page. So you can kind of filter it down to yourself. You can find yours right there. Go to your state, all that stuff. So anyway, we'll add a new post here and kind of jump in and here in the posting process, I'll kind of take you through every kind of section on this posting page. So starting up top here, we've got the title. Titles are super important for our content. Remember, we are a paywalled site, and so a good portion of the people that's seeing our coverage are not going to be able to read it the first time they come to the site because they're not going to be subscribing yet. So titles are important in order to really give the audience an idea of what they're getting into. And so I always encourage people, like, really give the reader an idea of what they're going to be seeing in here, but also making it succinct enough that they're just scrolling on Twitter or they're scrolling on the site and they'll be able to know what it is. So I typically say a Minnesota team camp. Say you were at a camp, and so I always kind of like talk about the event or talk about like the scene there, and then what is kind of the actual article consisting of. What are the players? There's a lot of good notes. Actually, I also have the handbook pulled up, so you can just see at prepnetwork.com/scout handbook. A ton of good information in here about just like our philosophy with stuff like that, and actually it opens up to a bunch more links right here with different content guides, just different stuff you can see. So keep this handbook, but it goes into titles a little bit. And one thing, like a lot of our content is basically just different ways that you're going to group players together. And so an article like this, one thing I really like, not only is the title, it's succinct, it's descriptive, but it's also really scalable. So you can replicate this article. You could do top passers, you could do top defenders, you could do top rebounders. Maybe you don't even want to break it up by skill. You could do senior standouts, underclassmen who impressed. So stuff like that. There's just so many different ways. We'll just do top scores for this one, but so many different ways to break up an article like that. And you could even do like a preview type of series like these where you're just listing different ones. So that's kind of the title there, and then you'll see like the URL is automatically generated based on the title. So kind of a cool feature there. So coming down here now here is where the actual body of the story goes. So body of the story goes here. I always do encourage folks writing the story directly kind of on this page is the best way to do it. It's just to ensure that the formatting is correct and ensure that all the spacing will look good. Sometimes things can get kind of messed up if you try to paste it in from a different source. So typically I like to encourage people, intro section starts here. Just start the story with a couple just a couple sentences, on an intro, just a few lines. Hey, maybe it was like, we were out at the University of Minnesota team camp, or hey, the season's right around the corner. We're going to start by looking at, players from a certain city, whatever it is, just kind of introducing the story. So people jump in and they don't just, it's not just right into the players, but kind of introducing like what these are about. And then once you have that done, kind of introducing it, then you can get into the analysis. Maybe you go like this, like something like that. So, like measurables in position, or something like that, and then what school they're at, and then go like that, and just a little bit of analysis about that player. So just writing up the story here, and then you'll have like a couple lines there. He's a great shooter. She is really good getting to the rim, finishing in traffic, and then what you would do a typical story. You'd list five or so athletes that impressed. Kind of in that area. So one thing, it's a little bit pared down here. There aren't a ton of tools. We've taken a lot of those and actually just automated them. And so any player that we have kind of in our database already, it'll automatically highlight that player's name, and we'll link then to their player profile. So you don't have to kind of mess with any of that. I mean, you can. Just making sure like it's well spaced out, it's really digestible. But the players' names, if it's a ranked player kind of in our database, it will automatically highlight that and really make that pop. That's a really great kind of value add. So one thing you'll notice, you see like I have there's some underlines here. I actually have Grammarly installed on my computer. Grammarly is great. We actually have a note in here on Grammarly. Those of you who are publishing content on the web, which all of you are, that's a really good way to it's just spell checks. I have an English degree, and Grammarly catches a lot of my mistakes even. So I cannot recommend enough. Grammarly is a really good tool just to install on your web browser. So we'll check some stuff. So yeah, this would be like a pretty standard piece, pretty quick hitting, but a pretty good outline for how a story might look. So one thing to note, you can add photos directly in the body of the story, which is a nice little piece. So maybe you have a picture of this player. You add a photo in the story using this Add Media button right here. So you click Add Media right there, and this will bring up the media library page. So we as far as using photos goes, number one kind of thing, ideal scenario is using your own photos. When you're in the gym, go, bring your cell phone. You see a ton of headshots here. Just grab a quick headshot of a kid. That it works out really well. After a game, I think run up to him, get a quick headshot there. I think some of our guys are really really good at that. It's it's pretty easy. Kids are typically receptive to that. So that's a great way to do it. The other option, one of the other options, is using a photo that you have permission to use. So we do ask that you get written permission for photos that you do not own. And so just grabbing one from the web, contacting the photographer saying like, hey, I'm with Prep Hoops or Prep Dig, and using a photo there, that's always acceptable as well. So if you want to upload a photo there, you can just go here to select photos, and grabbing a photo there that you have. So this is one that Alex Conover took this one on our basketball site. And so then it'll bring up this photo permission kind of prompt. And then you can either confirm that this is your photo, super easy to do there. You just do that, and then you're then claiming that this is your photo that you own, that you took. In this case, this is one that you do have written approval from Alex. And so this media library, and I'll explain it in a second, is organized really really well, so that you can go back and find all your past photos that you use. So every time you write about the same kid, or if you do write about the same kid and you have a photo of him, you can just go and find that photo as opposed to re-uploading a new one every time. So this particular athlete, so I'll be able to go find this photo after the fact. And so you can kind of categorize it. If you have a picture of a venue, that's a great option. Just run in, snap a picture with your phone of the gym or of the field, of the court, whatever it might be. That's a good way to do it. So this particular one is a player. Just to make it more searchable, then I'll be able to go and find that player information there. So this has our database of all of our ranked players that are on the site. So it's a huge database. So I would recommend going through and searching out these players. And so searching which player this is, and then being able to select him. So again, This works on the volleyball site, on the football site, girls basketball, just any ranked player will have. We will be able then to search it. So say this is Kerwin Walton. It's not actually Kerwin, but I can go back and delete that. So say that you have a photo of a kid who's not ranked, then you can just come in here and hey, add unranked player. And this even works if you have multiple players in an image. Maybe it's a team shot, something like that, and you can just add it there. And then now Jake Phillips then will be searchable. So we'll just remove that. So now if you want to go search for Jake, this picture will come up. And then the last is just confirming who you got this photo from. So this is from alexconover.com. Alex is the one. Alex does some great work on our Minnesota site. So then you can see HTTPS Alex Conover, that's his website, making sure you have the full URL in there or that will not validate. So just confirm those details. This will kind of bring up the auto cropper. This is a really good photo there. So we make sure we have that one selected. Actually, I don't know why that one is. So just select that one and insert that into the post there. So the one thing I always encourage guys, so this kind of comes in and it messes with the spacing a little bit. Always click on the photo kind of when it inserts, and then you'll be able to change the alignment. Changing the alignment, it just makes it so much more clean. You can jump in, you can change the size. A lot of times, like for smaller photos, we may do that. Changing the alignment, that's a pretty good fit with the medium there. So just kind of messing with this a little bit, changing the alignment, making that go. So yeah, that's a pretty good way to do that. So say you want to do another one, I'll just show you what it looks like to use the media library as a search tool. So maybe you come in here. And actually, let's refresh this. Let's just save this as a draft, just so that's another step. Just kind of constant, just saving it every few minutes. It'll then save those tags, and that will get pushed through there. So then adding another one, as you can see, I searched Kerwin there in the media library again. So we just use this search bar, and then there's my photo I just uploaded with correct caption. As you can see, so that worked like a charm. Of course, it's not actually Kerwin, but we'll just pretend for now. So say we want to insert another one in. This is another one taken by Alex. So we'll insert that into the post. And there we go. And again, when you insert one, just click it and then change that alignment. So you can kind of balance that photo pretty nicely there. So continuing down the screen now, you've got paywall status. We'll just leave paywall to yes. Again, like 90+% of our photo or our stories are behind the paywall. It's how we pay our writers is through through subscriptions, obviously generating subscriptions there. So just leaving that to yes. If you have questions about the paywall, feel free to hit me up and let me know. But yeah, that's kind of an important part of our model, just making sure that like our content is protected, and so that like people who read it are subscribers, and making sure. So important on that. Feel free to contact me here if you do have questions on that. So next step down here is the article description. Really important. This is something a lot of people forget. Just a quick 1 or 2 sentence description of your article. So something short. I always kind of say like just renaming the title is a good way to do it. So just renaming what we got here. So like, who were the standout scorers at the U this weekend, right? So just kind of renaming the title, giving people a just a flavor, for what that article is about. As you'll see, there it finally just refreshed. That took a minute. So it took out my photo here. So I actually can just go back there again. I'll show you how that's done. So the media library again, if you want to upload your own or search yours there. Let's see if this works. So just searching a name of a player is a good way to go. This is being super slow here today. Oh, there we got a perfect one. So this is a graphic that is kind of made. So we can just add that one in. And again, clicking on that, bam, that one goes in there. So just, as our media library gets built out, as you scouts go in and add more photos, and again, labeling them correctly is super important. Just encouraging you all, labeling them, because then you can go back and search those, and they come up pretty clean. So who were the top scorers? So there you go. Adding that article description. So just to show you here, the article description, I'll kind of take you through it. It's actually shown on every article. You can kind of see, so these players were sleepers, plenty of quality floor generals. You can see them like these newcomers. So yeah, again, that's where the article description shows up. So it actually won't let you publish it without an article description, so make sure you add that. The other thing, so that's kind of everything for this section here. The other thing, and you can kind of tinker again, like with some of these things, adding hyperlinks to maybe link to a highlight video or something like that. There's a cool kind of block quote thing that you guys can kind of play with as well. So yeah, that's kind of that section. On the right side, then we'll kind of move over here. Just a couple quick things to run through. You've got the featured image section here. So the featured image is this main photo. The main photo that we kind of have on the site. So featured image there. You can see all these are featured images. Again, it won't let you publish without that, so please make sure to add the featured image right at this section. Don't just put it at the top here, but adding the featured image is done through here. So coming back again, kind of the same photo rules apply, making sure that it is your photo, or it's a photo that you have written permission to use. If not, I mean, every photo then that is saved in the media library will be one that we do have permission to use here. So making sure you search them, if it's a player, just searching the media library to see if someone else has taken it. The one thing you can do too, and you saw like when we uploaded that there was the option as like a scout graphic, it says. And so I always kind of that's always an option for folks. So say this is a photo that I have, just to show again, kind of as it verifies here. So say this is my photo. You can also do a scout graphic, and then making sure it's entering keywords there. So a graphic, to make a graphic or get a graphic made, I would encourage you to reach out to our graphics department, and you can contact me for that information. We're always happy to make you guys graphics, just because we know the photo stuff can be tough. So contact me for that. I can get you the contact information of our graphic designer, and we'll be able to put that together for you. It's pretty straightforward, but then you're able to come up with awesome stuff like this. Like these ones here that come out, really crisp, really clean. The one thing, and this is like the last thing I'll say here, is you always have the option, just the default option, to just use a generic image. So contact me again if you need more generic images, but if you just search generic in the media library, it'll come up with a ton of options for you. And we're actually always continually adding more generics in here, but they're really crisp, really clean. They're not over the top, but they'll just make that site look really, really good, with high quality graphics that you can always use. If you don't happen to have a photo of the player, or can't get permission, this is just a great default option. So I'll just use that one. Like I said, you can see, in this one, a ton of generic images used. Generic image there, generic image there. We had our graphics guy made that one. So you'll be able to see, graphics all across a lot of our networks, and they typically look pretty good. So our Iowa guy uses them really well. Here, that's an awesome generic there. So yeah, just kind of see, you'll see generic images all over. We actually have a lot of really good photos on our volleyball network as well. So here's a generic there. So just some really good, our graphic there. So it makes it crisp, makes it clean. Obviously, if you have a photo, use it. But generics also work great. So getting the featured image added there is kind of the next step, making sure that looks good. So this is a really important step as well, tagging the state. So say this article is written in Minnesota. If you don't tag a state here, the article won't be posted. So you can see, we have states all through the network. Just making sure this will select what state it's posted to. So that's kind of how we organize things. So making sure you actually hit the state. If you don't check anything here, it's not going to be read by anyone. So that's an important step. So don't forget that one. Continuing up here now, categories. So categories is something, we have built in on the site here. So the categories section will it's pretty self-explanatory. If it's a high school article, tag high school. If it's an AAU grassroots, you can cover that. We've got our like prep hoops circuit. If it's an event, you can cover it there. We did like a city rankings series, so you can kind of do stuff like that. So we'll kind of continue adding stuff there. If it's a recruiting article, you can tag that. So just something to keep in mind. Checking a couple of those. We're not super strict on like, this wasn't actually a grassroots article or something. So, but just kind of checking what the category is for that section. So. And then finally, you've got this section up here, which is where you post. So one thing I always encourage people to do is hitting that preview button before you post, just to make sure, just to jump in, check it out, make sure it all looks good. So there we go. Article looks great. Bam, that looks really clean. Again, when you add players that are in the database, this will be automatically linked to their name there. So that's a pretty cool value add that you guys should definitely check out when you're previewing a story. The other piece to note, you can schedule articles out. So this is a really good thing to do. Say you really did go to the Minnesota team camp and you were out there and you did top shooters. Then next you wanted to write up a piece on the top defenders and also a piece on the top playmakers. That would be awesome. You totally should do that. Cover a bunch of kids, get a bunch of articles. That's great. Covering 2 to 3 to 4 articles from a single event is encouraged. But what we want to avoid is publishing those all like at the exact same time. So just spread those out. So maybe you publish this one today, maybe publish the next one tomorrow. And then or maybe publish, the next one on the 25th. So just spreading things out like that is a really good way to kind of make sure every article is seen, every article gets on the homepage, so that the audience can see it. So when you are done, you've checked the preview, you've got featured image, article descriptions in there. These look good. Then I would just encourage you, just hit that save draft button. You see, you can't actually schedule it right now because I have to update your access on the site and your permission. Once you've published a few, we'll just kind of let you roll on your own and publish those on your own. So just contact me then, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, and let me know that you've got an article ready to check out. I'll jump in, or Anthony Garcia will, and we'll approve it, and it'll be good to go. So that is it. The last thing I want to say, we do have these posting instructions. So contact me if this is kind of, you want to kind of pull this up. This is a pretty good way to do it as well. We'll just kind of take you through the back end of the site and show you how it's done there. So that is it. Keep that Scout Handbook close. A ton of really good ideas in here, and we'll see the coverage. Again, Jared Nelson for Prep Network. That's Prep Hoops, Prep Girls Hoops, Prep Dig, and Prep Redzone. Happy writing. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much.